Titans are demigods.
Many Christians are willing to acknowledge the existence of other spiritual entities apart from Yahweh, but they are not comfortable using the English word God with a lowercase g to describe them. They would prefer to call these other entities demons. While this isn't precisely correct, whatever term we use, it is clear the Bible describes real spiritual entities who have power on earth and accept the worship of humans. To the authors of the Bible, these gods were not imaginary.
We used to think that the Titans were sort of fictional characters. Now, looking at the Bible and a lot of extant literature, we're beginning to see that the Titans were real people.
Well, Titans were the old gods of the Greeks. They were the ones who ruled the earth under their king Kronos.
Prepared for the wrath of Kronos, father of the gods, king of the Titans, destroyer of the universe.
Until the Olympians, led by Zeus, the storm god, rebelled against them and banished them to Tartarus, which was not the same as Hades. That's a separate level of the underworld, as far below Hades as the earth is below heaven, and it was reserved for supernatural threats to the divine order. But this myth is repeated in a number of ancient religions. The Hittites and Hurrians believed that there were old gods who'd been overthrown by their storm god called Teshub. The Canaanites, the Amorites, believed that their storm god, Hadad, called Baal in the Bible, had taken over for their creator god El. You go back further into Babylon, where Marduk, a storm god, replaced Enlil at the top of the pantheon. This was repeated over and over, and in each case, the old gods were moved or banished to the netherworld, or to the abyss, or to Tartarus, as the new gods took over. Well, we see in 2 Peter a hidden reference to these old gods.
Right.
2 Peter 2 verse 4 talks about God didn't spare the angels when they sinned, but thrust them down to hell. Well, the word translated hell in English is in Greek, tartarau. It's the only place it's used in the Bible, which means it's important. You need to take note. Literally means thrust down to Tartarus. Again, there's a difference between Tartarus and Hades, and certainly Peter knew the difference, writing under the influence of the Holy Spirit. He was talking about the angels who sinned, and if you read 2 Peter 2 in context, or Jude 6, 7, 8, 9,
Right.
It's clear that in context they're referring to angels who committed a sexual sin, and the only place in the Bible we see that is Genesis 6, verses 1 through 4.
And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
The Watchers who descended made a mutual pact on the summit of Mount Hermon, which we know from the book of 1 Enoch.
I want it all. The blood, the flesh, the soul.
When the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then sware they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And there were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon, because they'd sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Semiazaz, their leader, Arikabah, Ramael, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Ganel, Ezekiel, Barakajal, Asael, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsapiel, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, Sariel. These are their chiefs of tens.
Those are to be equated with the Titans of Greek myth, the old gods of the Hittites, and the Anunnaki of ancient Sumer. The story just retold, but the Bible has the accurate account.